Welcome back. Here we are, and it is October. Where the bleep did this year go?
And we have a special guest. Drum roll, please.
Tis I.
Emma. Introduce yourself. I can't see you.
I know. I'm Emma. I am Emma of all trades, if you will, on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
And
we were hyping her up this week. We were posting about having you on. So
we always hype her up on our page.
Yeah, we do anyway, because we're like...
We've, ever since the beginning of Favorite Humans, we've been like a tag team going back and forth about, you know,
but I also just feel like we're like semi-stalkers of hers because we love all her work.
Yes.
Well, then I'm a semi-stalker of you guys as well. I'm always like the first to comment on all of your things.
I love the mutual stalking love. That makes me really happy.
Whenever love is shared through social media with friends, it's always good, but I always look forward to that because I know Emma's always going to bring something. When I tag you in there, when I tag you on those posts,
I know you
she
do.
She always brings something to the table, and we need that.
It makes me happy, and it lets me like dive deep into like something that I'm grateful for or whatever it is.
Oh, yay! That's what we want. I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you for coming to my humble abode.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but more excited than anything.
It's okay. That's what the champan's for.
Oh, clinky.
So,
Wait. We do a formal introduction, like how you guys know each other, and Emma can, and then you can lead into just so we can do a little bit more on Emma's, like, intro.
How do you know that I wasn't going to do an introduction?
Because I felt like you were about to drive full speed into your questions about Emma of all trades.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's later.
Okay.
I was going to do the introduction.
All right, I'll just eat a chip with guac and shut up.
Okay. So, Emma and I go way back. We just were kind of trying to remember exactly when and where we met, but we had... excuse me. For the background noise, there's a bunch of...
Sorry.
We just want to set the mood.
Just want to set the mood. If you weren't hungry, now you are.
Yeah, grab your guac and eat it with us.
Anyway,
we'll have a lot left
continue.
over.
I won't eat anymore.
So, Emma and I met probably when we were around 6th grade?
Yeah,
7th?
I would say, yeah.
And we were just discussing how we don't know when or where that came up, but we had mutual friends. Yeah. We had a mutual friend group. And, you know, everything in grade school is, you know, just embarrassing to think about.
Yeah. Just one day we knew each other.
And we just knew each other from then, you know. And then we would reconvene every so often, like getting into our like 20s and stuff like that. So we've been a good friends for a while, but we are better now than we ever have been.
Yes.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
A beautiful story, the two of us.
That's more than I knew about. I thought you guys met in high school.
No.
So I didn't know.
I don't think we had much, you know how like when you talk to someone when you're younger and like everybody goes their separate ways in high school?
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's because, well, obviously we went to different high schools. Mm-hmm. But if I'd ever see her out or anything like that, then yeah.
I remember seeing you at Bates one time, but that was like 9th or 10th grade.
Oh my God.
Remember that?
No, and I know why I don't remember that. Because
we're not talking explicit news on
there
here.
Was a little something called Pinnacle Whipped involved. And that's where I'll end that.
I mean, that's fine if they want to sponsor us.
Funny.
You know what?
Yeah,
Pinnacle Whip.
Anyway,
You can make a nice pumpkin cocktail with Pinnacle Whip.
Well, that's a nice background for you too. And it was back even in some of the cheerleading days, or no? You just crossed.
I thought that we cheered together, but we didn't.
Okay. But yeah, my friends.
I cheered for her. Yeah, I cheered for the township that she lived in, and we had mutual friends that way.
Okay,
and I think that's where it sparked. But the real reason that Emma is here today is she's going to tell us how she has had this love for, I'm just going to say creating things, because I don't even know
you create
exactly.
so many different things, which is really cool.
I don't even know how to exactly put it ever. And if you interrupt me, tell me what the best word is, but just for you that don't know, M of all trades on Instagram. Follow her. She is like carpenter gone.
Graphic
artist.
Yeah, everything.
She does a lot of woodwork.
It's honestly just like the name, and it's corny, but whatever.
No, it's not. I like it.
It's just a space to be whatever and do whatever I want to be and do all the trades and all the things that like pop in my brain if someone asks me to do. So it's an open ending to whatever and whenever and wherever and however. I suppose.
Yeah, I love it.
I do too. I have something custom made from Emma. Mara got Patrick Bago boards made, and Emma Philly themed them, and they are so nice. We always get so many compliments on them down the shore, which is where we primarily use them. But it was. I remember when Mara said, "Oh, my friend is going to make this, gift for Pat," and like I just had never met you. I never looked at any of your stuff, and so I was kind of like, "Oh, like what are they going to look like?" And I remember I picked them up. Yeah. And I was like, first of all, Emma's like this cute little like 4'0" girl, and the Bago boards, guys, were as tall as her, and she was walking out of her house with the Bago boards, like literally they didn't weigh anything. And as soon as I tried to pick them up to put them in my car, I like fell over. I was like, oh my gosh, these are like you could feel the handmade, wood and everything. That was just so beautifully originated by you, and I was just blown away when, like, she unzipped it right in the car, and I was like, what? Yeah. How can, like, a human create this? Especially this little human where the Bago boards were literally as tall as her. Yeah.
I don't, like, want to, keep prefacing that you are a smaller human, Emma, but I know that we know this by now.
One of our favorite smaller humans.
Emma. And, yeah, so that's my favorite thing about Em is that she is this tiny little ball of fire and ideas, and she's so much fun, but then she has this whole creative side to her as well. Like, she could kick anybody else's, like, butt in any of the trades.
I learned that also in strength, though, when she walked out those Bago boards. I thought they were going to be, like, light as a feather, and I was like, whoa!
Tiny but fierce.
I think I'm going to stay here forever, so you guys can keep saying so many nice things about me.
Keep pumping you
up.
I
just love it. Yeah. I love it. But, okay, so explain to the people that don't know you where this, found love for, woodworking, creating, anything came from. Has it been something you've always liked to do?
Yeah, so I think when I think back to like how this all started, I like to think about my mom never let us buy cards for anything. So we would always make homemade cards, like birthdays, holidays, anything, anniversaries, whatever. It was always a homemade card or like a poster that we hung up on the door, whatever it was. So they just like kind of instilled in us the like having genuine gifts, so rather than like spending so much money on it, whatever. Just like putting your own personal touch to it. Just having heartfelt things. So I still have never purchased a card in my entire life.
Wow. Oh my God.
So I always,
Also, I'm obsessed with cards, but I'm obsessed with the design behind them.
Yeah, because we can't do that. I have made homemade cards, but you don't want to see them.
You should see some of ours that you pull out, and they're always on like a piece of paper, and like Eric, my one brother, he's notorious for like just writing "Happy Birthday, Mom" and opening at the top instead of like at the bottom. It's like "Love Eric," and it's like "I love you," and that's it. Aww. But it's still a homemade card.
Yeah,
you took the time to sit down and like just write that out instead of just grabbing cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even buying a card, you're still taking the time, but just like that extra effort that you make, and that's what I try to do in all my Emma of All Trades stuff. Just like that extra effort and just being able to tap into that for other people too, just knowing that it's genuine and it's from the heart and it's personal, just makes it that much better, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So then translate for me how you went from birthday cards to carpentry.
Yeah, so that was like...
Just a little
jump. It was just cards one day and then it was carpentry.
And I had a full woodworking shop in my garage.
So my pop-up has a barn in his backyard, and him and my dad are like... They do it all. They won't hire anyone for anything.
Are they like contractors?
No, they are self-taught, like do-it-yourself guys. Like anything, any renovations that we've ever had done, my dad and my pop-up have done themselves. For the most part. My dad like refuses to hire anyone. He's like, I can do it, and then just figures it out
and learns. Yeah.
So that's basically what I do with Emma of All Trades. But it really started because when I went from the cards, I would just then start making like little gifts or whatever, and then. In like 2016, I guess, I was redoing my room that was from like middle school, and I was like, okay,
gotta go.
This needs to change.
This will haunt me forever.
In this like seafoam green room anymore. I can't do it. So I was redoing it, and one day when we were in the process like painting and stuff, I woke up and I was like, what if we built a bed? I know exactly what kind of bed I want. I can't find it anywhere. Why don't we just make it?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, okay, so I designed it. We did it together in like a weekend. We put it together, and I was like, this is awesome. I'm so happy with it. Let's make a desk. So then I designed the desk, and we did that. And I was like, this is a lot of fun. Like, I can bring that homemade personal genuineness from the cards that I had and put that into this stuff, even if it's like a little wooden sign, whatever.
Yeah.
And share that love for like, I don't even know, for just the love for personalization and that homemade feel.
And creating. You like to just create.
And just share that with everyone else. Bring that joy, like when you give someone the homemade gift and see their face light up. You're like, that's my name on it, and not just say happy birthday or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Bring that for everybody else. And so my dad, his work does craft shows, and he was like, why don't you just put a table up? So I made a bunch of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, okay.
Like little giveaways or like actual like big dressers in bed
so
like you just talked about?
It was like more like decor pieces.
Okay.
Like you have your cutting boards hanging up, like something like that, or like welcome signs and things. And then I was also doing like coasters and personalizing stuff sitting there. So like I would bring my wood burner and paint, and like if they wanted them personalized, I'd sit there and personalize. I'm just gonna
bring my wood burner.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
So it was that. It sounds all crazy and whatever, but like...
I love it. It makes me feel like I was saying you're a small human being. It makes me feel small. I'm like, I want to do so many things.
The whole point, I think, is to just do it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, and people always wait for the right time to go do what they want to do. And like, oh, I just needed to do this. I need to do that. I need to have enough money.
Yeah, excuses.
Whatever it is. Just do it and go for it. If it makes you happy and like sets your soul on fire, why not?
Yeah.
Well, just like this podcast, you guys were like, "Oh, we don't know what we're doing." You were just telling me about how
we
just kind of Googled how to do this.
These are my confessions.
I think Emma thought we had a full-on like studio, and we're sitting at my kitchen table with food and champagne and earpods.
Which I'm gonna pour a glass in a second, but no, that makes me feel so much more comfortable. Like, do it how you want to do it, and. Honestly, if I was sitting here with a microphone, I'd probably be crying because I'd be like, I don't know what to say. So
it's okay. It's very lax. Very lax.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good message.
It's a conversation.
It's a good message about just going for it, and you kind of just figure it out along the way. And I feel like some of the biggest people in business say that same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same exact message. Is you just have to go for it and know what the worst case scenario is, and if you're willing to deal with that, then you're fine. Yeah. And the worst case scenario is you quote unquote fail, but that's not really like a thing. You either just stop doing it because it's, not working out the way you wanted to, but you're still like alive and your heart's beating, and then you find something else.
This is something that you'll always be able to do, even if you're not doing it for money down the road. This is something that, is creative and it's unique to you because of the way that you create things is something that I've never seen before. Yeah. Not locally, at least. I mean, we see these things in, TJ Maxx and stuff, but I'd much rather get it from somebody that I know.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, like, our family, like, my dad did enough stuff, but we definitely would hire people. Like, we just don't have, like, we have a creative, like, I grew up dancing, and I like to decorate, but, like, I don't make them myself.
Yeah, but you still have
I like to decorate a little too much.
No, there's never too much. Never too much.
But
it makes it more you.
And it makes me happy to think about, like, I obviously like to shop at the main stores, but now, like, I'd rather ask you to make me something because I'd rather, like, you're a local business, and I'd rather pay you than kind of the bigger stores. So I love kind of how my brain has started to pivot that way and say, like, oh, like, yeah, I could go down the street and get this, but can I get it in a more special way and be contributing to somebody's local business?
Absolutely. So tell us about, like, a little bit of the projects that you've been doing lately. Some of the, the interesting ones. It could be your favorite one. It could just be the one that you last finished.
Yeah, I feel like my favorite project is always the next one I'm working on that's like new. But I always do a bunch of cornhole, especially throughout the summer. It's like banging out cornhole, flinging them out the doors like all day long, which is awesome, especially when there's new fun designs. But I recently got a scroll saw, which is a really, really tiny blade that just like goes up and down, and like a saw, but it's just like doing it itself, and I can cut out those little letters and things like that out of it. So that's my favorite because it's new to me, and I'm really learning, and I just love learning and trying new things and just figuring it out. And and like you said with the failing, like you fail there. Okay, have you ever heard of like failing upwards? You just completely fail and fail and fail until you get, because failing is not what everyone thinks failing is. It's just